You are listening to The Jake Asman Show on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Jake Asman.
Off we go on a Monday. Busy week, 3 days away from the NFL draft in Cleveland, Ohio. A lot of the draft prospects are going to be there. Roger Goodell is fully vaccinated. That came out on, Friday? So the bro hugs are back. The daps are back. Roger Goodell is allowed to go out there and do what he was born to do. Give awkward hugs and handshakes to draft prospects. So we're looking forward to that in Cleveland coming up on Thursday night. The news with the NFL draft is pretty simple right now as far as how the beginning stages of the draft will play out. Trevor Lawrence goes 1. Zach Wilson's going 2. Anyone that thinks the Jets are not taking Zach Wilson at this point, I would love to sell you a bridge because that is a lock. I have been told it's a lock by multiple people. I'm just telling you, Zach Wilson will be a Jet with the second pick in the draft, period. End of story. Let's move on. Number 3. Here's where it gets fascinating. Here's where it gets interesting. You look at the San Francisco 49ers, and there was a prevailing thought for a while that when they moved up from 12 to 3, they were doing that to try and get Mac Jones. And that still might be the case. But then the betting market started to shift after Justin Fields' second pro day, where Fields actually became the favorite to go to the San Francisco 49ers in that spot. And then all of a sudden, something changed. The betting markets over the weekend went right back to Mac Jones. And Fields is no longer apparently an option for the Niners. Now, according to Ian Rappaport, he tweeted this last night. As the Niners close in on their decision of which quarterback to take at number 3, sources say they're down to 2 prospects. And the belief is those 2 are Bama quarterback Mac Jones and North Dakota State quarterback Trey Lance. Several sources say the focus has appeared to shift to those 2. So, first things first, we could go through, well, why are they considering each one of those? What are they going to do with that third pick? But my immediate takeaway from that report from Ian Rappaport is, why is Justin Fields' stock plummeting? How is the guy that we all thought coming into the college football season was going to be the second quarterback taken after Trevor Lawrence, how is he now not even going to be the third quarterback taken in this year's class? So that was my initial reaction when I heard that report from Ian Rappaport. It's like we knew they were in on Mac Jones. Trey Lance, they're considering him, but Mac Jones is still the favorite by all accounts. What happened to Justin Fields? Why is his stock falling? It doesn't seem to make very much sense when you look at what Fields did at Ohio State, how well he played against Clemson in the playoff game, what Fields was able to do over a 2-year sample size in the Big Ten, the toughness he showed, the numbers he's put up, the throws he can make. I mean, Fields looks like your modern-day NFL quarterback. Why is his stock falling? And here's a theory I thought of that I'm going to throw out there. And I don't know if this is true, but no one's going to say it publicly. Is this being said behind closed doors? Justin Fields' agent is David Mulligetta of Athletes First. David Mulligetta has 2 quarterback clients in the NFL. One is Dwayne Haskins, who's been an unmitigated disaster since he was drafted with the 15th overall pick by Washington in 2019, already on his second team, immaturity issues, leadership issues. In the middle of COVID, he's going out to like a private strip club as the starting quarterback, getting caught on camera doing that. Come on. Remember, he took a selfie at the end of his rookie year instead of being on the field to take a knee to end the game. There's just been some red flags so far that we've seen from Justin Fields. That we've seen from Dwayne Haskins. And then the other quarterback that David Mulligetta represents is Deshaun Watson. And you might say, well, Deshaun Watson was great, and he's been great until everything that's come out about him with the, alleged sexual misconduct of 22-plus women. Maybe NFL teams just look at it and go, we don't want to deal with this agent. We don't want to deal with him. The other 2 quarterbacks he's represented have had now questionable character, either accusations or clear-cut issues that have come to light. Is that why Fields' stock is plummeting? Maybe they view Mac Jones and Trey Lance around the same as what they view Fields, but the tiebreaker is we don't like Fields' agent. We don't want to deal with him. Don't underestimate NFL teams being petty, NFL teams having biases, NFL teams taking a stand against someone they don't like. Because they don't like an agent. Maybe they don't want to deal with the said agent. Maybe that's why Fields' stock is sliding. No one's talked about that. How is that not a legit discussion point, though? Because it makes no sense why Fields might not be the third quarterback taken now. I understand why the Jets want Wilson. I'm all for it. I understand why, the Niners could like Trey Lance because of his upside, his potential. I don't understand how Mac Jones is being considered before Justin Fields. That's where it's like, what's going on here? That to me is where it's like, what are we doing?
I don't even understand how Justin Fields is falling. I mean, what else does he have to do? I understand why he's not going 1. I can even understand why he's not going 2. But even at 3, this is the most bizarre draft I think we've ever had with the third pick, because there has been a legit argument and at some point a favorite for that third pick, and it's all been all 3 quarterbacks.
How is Fields possibly going to be the 5th quarterback taken is what I don't understand.
Right.
And the only thing I can think of is the agent relationship. Mulligetta represents Watson and Haskins. Watson now facing turmoil. Haskins has been a major bust. And I'll throw you another one here. Mulligetta also represents Jalen Ramsey and basically led the way for Jalen Ramsey to fake an injury in Jacksonville and force him basically out of Jacksonville to go to LA and got what he wanted. Maybe NFL teams just don't want to deal with it. Maybe they think Fields down the line, if he's unhappy, could pull Deshaun Watson, could pull Jalen Ramsey. See, that's the thing. Before the Watson legal stuff came out, Watson was the one who wanted to force a trade away from the Texans. So now the second high-profile client David Mulligetta has had that's tried to force a trade the second the quarterback didn't get his way. And there are a lot of Texans fans that initially that would, kind of sympathize with Deshaun, understand why he wanted out. But
now I think we understand even more why he wanted out.
Maybe. I don't know. But, allegedly, of course, Ron. Be careful there.
Yeah, I know.
But I say all that to say maybe that's why his stock is sliding, because of the agent relationship. Because to me, it makes no sense how the Niners are sitting there with the third pick and Fields is no longer even an option for them. It's one thing if they took Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance has huge upside. We just don't know what he is because he's played 1 full year as a 19-year-old at North Dakota State in a run-first offense in an FCS conference. So, yeah, Trey Lance might be the biggest boom or bust prospect. At number 3, you need to take a guy that you believe will be a top 5 player one day. But Trey Lance, we don't know what he is yet. Maybe him sitting for a year behind Jimmy G makes some sense. But the fact of the matter is that Fields is not an option. He's no longer an option at 3 for the Niners. Something's fishy. And I look at the agent relationship as a possible reason why, because it makes no sense how Justin Fields went from the consensus number 2 quarterback in this class, balled out in the college football playoff against Clemson, 6 touchdowns with a busted rib, came back in the game hurt, outplayed Trevor Lawrence in that game, oh, by the way, and he's not even an option to be the 3rd quarterback taken?
And that was going to be my suggestion, is that maybe he needs to schedule a game against Clemson this week. How about Wednesday? We're all free on Wednesday, right?
Rematch against Clemson is a way to get back in the mix.
Just to show everyone, like, guys, this is what I did last time. I'm going to do it again.
Like, I haven't forgotten how to play football, guys. I haven't forgotten. EX writes in on YouTube, they best not let Fields get to New England. That's my biggest fear. Fields slides and New England comes up from 15 and makes a deal with like Carolina at 8 or Detroit at 7, and they end up with Justin Fields. That's my nightmare. That's why I want Fields to go 3, so that doesn't happen. But of course, the nightmare of New England ending up with Justin Fields is still real, and it could happen. It is still a real possibility. Zach Asman writes in, don't understand why the 49ers would trade up for Mac Jones or Trey Lance. Passing on Fields can be a generational mistake. We will find out what these quarterbacks are. Usually at least 2 of them, history will show us, are going to be busts. But if I had to bet money on which quarterback's going to be a bust, it would not be Justin Fields. He would not be my pick. I understand maybe the Niners want Trey Lance. I understand maybe there's a lot to like with Mac Jones. But I'm sorry. The fact that Fields is no longer even an option with that 3rd pick, not even a discussion point with that 3rd pick, is baffling to me.
Yeah, are we going to have a Aaron Rodgers moment with him?
Aaron Rodgers?
Where Fields is just sitting in the green room and camera points to him and it's still pick 20, still not taken.
You know what? Out of the quarterbacks that are going to slide here, he seems to be the guy that is sliding most.
Well, I saw one mock, and I was talking to Tony about this, who's a Steelers fan, was all for it. There's Justin falling all the way to the Steelers, like at 22 or something.
No chance. Someone would have to trade up at that
But
point.
imagine if that happened.
I can imagine him sliding, but not that far.
But how quickly, if he's there, how quickly is Pittsburgh turning in that card?
Yeah, right away. But I think they'd have to move up to get him. I still think when it's all said and done, 5 of these guys are gone by the top 10. The record for most quarterbacks to go in the top 10 is 4. That was in 2018. That was the Baker, Darnold, Allen, Rosen draft. Those guys all went in the top 10. I think we break the record this year, but the fact that Fields might be the 5th guy taken, that to me makes no sense. 800-224-2004 is the number to get involved. Why do you think Justin Fields' stock is sliding? You can write in your thoughts on the live stream. Check out the show on Twitch and Facebook Live. Once again, the number 800-224-2004 to get involved. Follow me on Twitter. Engage with me there at Jake Asman on Twitter, and we'll read the best tweets over the air in the next segment. But coming up next, the New York Jets are in prime position to not just take Zach Wilson at 2 and potentially a player at number 23. They also could wheel and deal and get back into the first round. And there's some options for the Jets at the end of round 1. I want to get into what the Jets could do, wheeling and dealing with their 2 first-round picks in this year's draft in the next segment. Stay tuned. We're coming right back. This is the Jake Asman Show here on a Monday on Sports Map Radio.
The Jake Asman Show.